Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome everyone to the Long Beach Housing Promise Kickoff. I'm Mitali Jain, the ASI president for this academic year, and as your MC for today. As the student body president, one of the primary goals is to ensure students find resources that help them thrive. A commonality we all share here today. Today, we are outside of Hillside Village, the site where more than 400 beds will be built and will add affordable housing to campus. This is an ambitious opportunity we hope will be expanded upon with the LB Housing Promise. We all understand the critical role that a stable, supportive living environment plays in a student's academic journey. Thank you for the work that you all do and for being here today. Now I would like to welcome our honored guest from California State University Long Beach, who is hosting today's festivities, and welcome to our honored guest from the City of Long Beach City College, and Long Beach Unified School District. As we begin, I would like to recognize our elected and appointed officials in attendance. Mayor Rex Richardson, State Superintendent of Public Instruction Tony Termont, California State University Long Beach President Dr. Jane Close Connolly, Long Beach City College Superintendent President Dr. Mike Munoz, Long Beach Unified School District Superintendent Dr. Jill Baker, Councilwoman Megan Kerr, Chair of the City of Long Beach Educational Partnerships and Housing and Public Health Committees. Councilmember Robert Uranga. Council members L. Austin Office, their Chief of Staff Brian Martinez. Long Beach City College Board President Herlinda Chico. Long Beach Unified School District Board members Dr. Juan Benitez. From the Office of Councilwoman Mary Zendeas, Celeste Sanchez. From the Office of Vice Mayor Cindy Allen, Raul Sen. From the Office of Councilwoman Suli Cero, Annie Chen. From the Office of Congressman Robert Garcia, Chris Perez. From the Office of Senator Lena Gonzalez, Joey King. So thank you to the leaders from each of the partners from your for foresight and vision to come together in this innovative partnership. And thank you in advance to the teams from the 4 partners who will be collaborating more closely in the months and years to come. Now to review the schedules of today's ceremony, we will hear from speakers from each of our partners as well as special elected guest and special youth speaker. The promise will have 8 signers, 2 from each partner in a signing ceremony, immediately following our speakers. And I will have more information on that a little later in today's program. Now, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Deputy Mayor of Housing, Connor Locke, who will give a brief overview of the Housing Promise and introduce Mayor Rex Richardson.
Thank you, Mitali, for that introduction and for serving as our Master of Ceremonies today. I'm Connor Locke. I'm the Deputy Mayor of Housing for Mayor Rex Richardson. Thank you, everyone here, for being a part of this exciting new initiative. It is an honor to get to work with the fine folks at Cal State Long Beach City College, and Long Beach Unified School District as we get underway. So what is the Long Beach Housing Promise? Very shortly. It's a collaborative agreement between our agencies to work together and increase affordable housing opportunities for students, families, and everyone in our community. By working together, we can open new opportunities, leverage each agency's unique strengths, and speed up progress on housing to create more impactful progress than any of our agencies could achieve alone. And the concept is part of a long track record that Mayor Richardson has demonstrated of bringing people together and working collaboratively with partners. The critical issue of housing is this top priority for him. That's why he created a Deputy Mayor of Housing position to focus on innovative programs, new possibilities, and engagement with all of you, our key partners. The opportunity to collaboratively address affordable housing opportunities at a greater scale is why he has been talking about starting a housing promise since before he was elected as mayor. It's an innovative concept, one that goes beyond existing models where one or two agencies may partner in a limited fashion for something very specific. No other community has a housing promise that brings together an entire educational and city ecosystem, so we will be modeling the way for other cities, agencies, and the nation as a whole. Their eyes will be on how well we can work together to provide affordable housing and opportunities to thrive for our residents. And believe me, everyone is looking for new solutions to our national affordable housing needs. But that's enough for me. It's time to hear from the man with the vision that brought us together here today. It is my great pleasure to introduce Mayor Rex Richardson.
Thank you, Connor, our new deputy mayor for housing. Let's hear it for Connor Locke. And thank you, President Connolly, for welcoming us here to Cal State Long Beach. Let's hear it. Go Beach. Let's hear it for Dr. Connolly. And we're so honored to be here with all of our educational institutions, Dr. Munoz and Dr. Baker. Thanks so much for coming along with me on this journey. And to all of you who are joining us, thank you. I understand we are in the sun. We're going to get this program on the road. So I'm Mayor Rex Richardson, and I'll tell you, I like collaborating and bringing people together to work on the hard stuff. And it's great to be here today at the site of the future Hillside Village, where you'll have hundreds of students who are going to be making memories and getting an education, exploring opportunities. But the reason why is because it's going to be affordable. They're going to have 400 students who are able to live here because it's affordable. And that's what the promise of opportunity is about. The promise of opportunity is what brought me to California as a young man. I remember growing up as a kid in Alabama, and we moved here on a Greyhound bus. It was my mom, it was my sister, my younger brother, and we moved to California. And I was 11. And I remember I had a Dare to Keep Kids Off Drugs bag, I'm dating myself, filled with comic books for the ride, and we had fried chicken wrapped in foil, because fried chicken lasts a long time, and it was a long bus ride. But we were on that bus for opportunity, coming to California for the promise of opportunity. And that promise was made real for me when I was accepted to go to college for public education at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And I can remember my first day pulling into student housing. I was driving a 1986 Oldsmobile Cutlass. No. What we would call it was, everybody heard the word hoopty? This was a hoopty. My mother helped me buy this out of the penny saver. Anybody remember the penny saver? $350 is how much this car cost. It had rust on the hood. The headliner was hanging down. You had to work really hard to turn to the right, only to the right for some reason. And every morning, yours is to the left. I always stay to, I made a whole lot of left turns. But what I remember most was early in the morning when I get ready to go to work. I worked in downtown Long Beach. I had to warm up the car, and the engine belts would scream for 5 minutes straight and wake up the other students in student housing. So I had a hoopty. But it really wasn't about the car that I drove. It was about the opportunity that I had because I had access to housing. So I could be young and broke and pursuing opportunities to improve myself. So I can be my best self and engage in student government like Matali. And I'll tell you, this was back in 2001. She wasn't born then. So I'm dating myself there. But I had a roof over my head. I had opportunity to go to school. Those are the things that we believe in. That's what brought all of us here today. It's the promise of opportunity. And that is why all of you have gathered with us. You all believe that we should have the opportunity to live our best lives and to have the next generation achieve their highest and best potential. And we continue to come together, and we have a history in Long Beach of coming together around those values, the values of opportunity and equity, and making sure next generations have opportunities that maybe we didn't have, or ensuring that they can live their best lives and achieve their best potential. We've seen this time and time again. We saw it during COVID-19 pandemic when we came together across agency lines to make sure we supported our families. We have seen this as evidenced through the Long Beach College Promise, working across agency lines to ensure that people have a pathway to get an education. We have seen this time and time again in our community, and I think that it's time that we see this once more. We all understand that housing insecurity is a big barrier to all of us achieving our goals. Young people that want to go to school, families that are struggling to make ends meet and put food on the table. This is something that we all have in common. It's a barrier to all of our success. And what unites us is that we have a proven track record of working together to overcome big challenges. And in this moment, families are counting on us to show up for them, and go back to what we know time and time again. I'm proud of the opportunities that we're already exploring. Opportunities with Long Beach City College in Uptown. Opportunities to come down to the Board of Trustees and talk about exciting projects here at Long Beach State. I'm happy to share that I'm excited to continue supporting our students, and we're going to be throwing down for the Jordan High students to try to get to Carnegie Hall. We'll be talking more about that, right? We are a community that comes together to help all of us overcome the big challenges. And those are just a few examples. But today we're here to chart a new model for partnership, new ways that our community can come together to address our greatest challenges. In the face of the rising housing crisis that threatens many of us across our community, it's time for us to return to our values of collaboration and equity. By returning to our values, we can ensure that people can live and work and go to school in our Long Beach community. We can push back on the national trend of growing inequality and housing shortage, unaffordability that's pushing people away from their dreams. We can make sure that young people growing up in Long Beach have the opportunity to live with dignity and have the opportunity to pursue their dreams. We should be clear. The housing promise will signify our promise, our commitment to families to work together, that we acknowledge that there is a connection between your success and your ability to be housing stable. That's what this commitment represents. We're putting our shared values of equity and collaboration and young people into action today across our agency partnerships so that all of us can commit to having stable and affordable housing. So today we'll be signing a memorandum of understanding that lays out a framework over the next 5 years with key areas of collaboration and focus that will help to guide our joint efforts together. I believe that Long Beach is a city of great opportunity where we're not afraid to roll up our sleeves, work together, and take on big challenges. There's no challenge so great that we can't overcome when we all come together. This is how we show up for Long Beach families in this moment. The promise represents our collective commitment to Long Beach's families, and our young people and future generations are counting on us to get it right. So I want to thank you for being here, and I know it's a long program, so I'm gonna kick back to the MC, Matali, so we can keep it moving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Rex Richardson. Now I would like to introduce our next speaker, State Superintendent Tony Termond. Superintendent Termond was sworn in as the 28th California State Superintendent of Public Instruction on January 7th, 2019. He's an educator, social worker, and public school parent who has served Californians for more than 15 years in elected office. Previously, he served on the Richmond City Council, the West Contra Costa Unified School Board, and in the California State Assembly representing District 15.
Thank you, Madam President, for your leadership. It's great to be back on the campus as a former student body president at a university. This is where it all began for me, those 15 years in elected office. So thank you for your leadership. Let's have a round of applause for our MC, student body president, Matali Jain. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your vision. Thank you to all of the doctors who are here, Connolly and Munoz and Baker. Thank you all for a vision for how to support our students. Memories are flooding back about being a college student and having uncertainty about where I was going to stay, having uncertainty about meals. You know, even though I worked all my way through college, I worked in fast food, I worked in the restaurant industry, there were always questions and doubts about my next meal, and there were always questions and doubts about having a roof over my head. And there were many who helped me, and I'm grateful for that. I didn't quite have the hoopty, Mr. Mayor. I told everybody that I drove the subway because I didn't have a car, but I appreciate what you said about the hoopty and the struggle that it took your family. You know, for me, my family struggled as well. You know, I lost my only parent to cancer when I was 6 years old. My mom, she was a teacher. My dad was a Vietnam vet who never came home from the war. I found him on the internet as an adult, almost 40 years old. And so I struggled. We grew up on free lunch and food stamps and government cheese and other programs that helped us to overcome poverty. And many of our students, unfortunately, are dealing with those same challenges. We have many students in our systems, in our university systems, who are unhoused and hungry, who might be couch surfing, who might be staying in a car. And even if they're not, they're struggling on how to put some gas in their hoopty to get to class. And so we've got to be thoughtful, and I appreciate the creativity around this very initiative that you have launched here today. And we're standing here in support of this promise. You know, I've sponsored legislation that allows our campuses to build affordable housing using tax credits for developers to make the deal pencil out so that we can build on campuses, whether it be a community college, a UC, or a CSU, or on one of our K-12 systems. And I hope that you all will support AB 1169, a bill that is still in the legislature that will provide more funding, more tax credits to support a development that is exactly in line with the promise being kept here in Long Beach. And so let us keep the promise for the students that we serve and for the young adults and the researchers and the employees and the missing middle that often there aren't any programs to support. Just this morning, we kicked off a summit to think about the homeless students who are in our pre-K through 12 system. We have 200,000 homeless students, 10,000 of them who are unaccompanied, completely on their own. If we know nothing about homelessness, we do know that a homeless student today is a homeless adult tomorrow. And so we have to make this, as the mayor said, an effort with urgency. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to the members of the council and to the members of the college boards who are all here for your leadership to help us create this promise and keep this promise for our students in higher education, our 6 million students in our K-12 systems, and for the 40 million Californians who live in our state. And so thank you. As a CSU trustee, as a UC Regent, I'm very proud of what is happening here today, and as a fierce supporter of our community college systems, I'm grateful for this partnership and for the MOU. And as they said, it's hot out here, so let's get on with the work and let's make it happen for the people of Long Beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Termon. Next, I would like to give an extra special welcome to someone I have the pleasure of working with so closely at my favorite place, CSU Long Beach, President Dr. Jane Close Conley. Oh. Do I go for an intro?
Thank you, Matali. It's certainly my pleasure to be working with you, and it's makes a real difference. So I am Jane Connolly, and I get to be president here. Most of what I was going to say has been said, and said better than I would say. I would just reiterate, we're so excited about this partnership, modeled, I hope, on our Long Beach College promise, where one of the secrets to success was we could call each other up, and we give each other information about, here's an opportunity. We have each other's cell phones, that you don't have to go through 15 people to find each other. As you've heard, this will be the site of 3 new buildings that will house about 424 of our students, and they will be based on a state grant or a state program. I don't know if it's the same one you were talking about, Superintendent, but somebody in the audience does, and we'll thank you later. It will allow us to offer 424 students housing throughout our entire stock at least 30% below the usual cost. And so it won't be a building that's all low income. In fact, they'll be spread all around. So we're excited about that. We also look forward to a partnership in which we our efforts that are going on right now, we're scouring the city of Long Beach for properties to either renovate or to build. because adding housing, just student housing, is only part of the equation. Our professors and our staff are now being forced to live an hour and a half away. That doesn't help the city of Long Beach. We want housing for our professors, for our staff, as well as our students, and it has to be affordable. So my big hope for our housing promise is that this will facilitate the dream that I know we all have, that we can have people living here, thriving here, working here, and really building on the cultural, economic, and all the other things that we do. I just forgot my 4 developments. I should be looking at my papers. So once again, thank you for being on our beautiful campus. I hope the next time you'll come, you'll see some new buildings here for our students. And we certainly look forward and will support entirely the Long Beach Housing Promise. Thank you.
Thank you, President Conley. Our next speaker is Superintendent President Dr. Mike Munoz. He is nationally recognized as a transformation leader. Dr. Mike Munoz has led LBCC since March 4, 2021. He's an expert in closing racial equity gaps for students of color, creating inclusive campus cultures for LGBTQIA+ students, and efficiently executing innovative change that makes LBCC a destination college for students from all backgrounds. If I could have Dr. Mike Munoz.
Good afternoon, everyone. What an honor it is to be here today with my fellow Promise partners, Mayor Richardson, President Connolly, and Superintendent Baker. Can we give them all a round of applause? You know, I'm very excited and proud to represent Long Beach City College. When this community sees a need, it rises to the challenge. And our education system is a perfect example of that. The work our community did with the Long Beach College Promise became a model for the entire country, and America's College Promise was born. We have guaranteed a college education to every LBUSD student thanks to open collaboration, the sharing of valuable insights, and working together across common goals. You know, I want to acknowledge something that President Connolly said, and I don't know if folks know. Twice a year, she opens up her home to me and Jill. And we go and we spend a whole day with her, and we strategically think about what kind of experience we want our students to have across all of our segments. And I just really appreciate your openness and your collegiality and just the spirit of innovation you bring, Dr. Connolly. We already know that when our College Promise partners team up, we make things happen. So naturally, LBCC is 100% ready to roll up our sleeves for the new Long Beach Housing Promise, to collaborate with our partners and once again show America what right looks like. Housing insecurity has been an issue for our LBCC students for many years. Before I go on, I want to take a moment to acknowledge our incredible Board of Trustees for their unwavering focus on providing basic needs for our students. We have Board President Erlinda Chico here with us today. Their support and bold leadership have been instrumental in driving many of our innovative efforts forward. We know that housing insecurity is a major barrier that prevents our students from achieving their educational goals. And for far too many of our students, the struggle is very real. As someone who lived the struggle, I can tell you that in the absence of a place to lay your head, a safe place to leave your child when you're attending class, to wash your body or to study peacefully, to connect to Wi-Fi, or to simply just feel safe, this is a huge barrier for students to be able to feel like they can succeed in school. And so for far too many students, it's a challenge that's too great to overcome. The pandemic brought this issue even further into focus for us. It led us to establish our emergency student aid application and gave us solid data on the number of students living in their cars or couch surfing or generally just experiencing housing insecurity. At the start of the pandemic, we found out that approximately 70 of our students were sleeping in their cars every night. I can tell you from my own experience as someone that was housing insecure, I didn't feel a measurable peace until my young daughter and I were able to move into university housing after I transferred from a community college. I know firsthand how housing insecurity with a child feels, and the experience fuels my drive to solve this problem and work together with the mayor's vision. It makes me realize that I serve in a role that today at LBCC, every student who deserves stable housing, whether they're a K-12 community college student, a university student, or a student re-enrolling at the college, deserves a right to affordable housing. Our commitment to our students is not only to provide high quality, affordable education, but also to meet their basic needs, which allows them to concentrate on their studies, which leads to a degree, which leads to a career, and will ultimately benefit all of us in our community. And among the basic needs, of course, the basic need among just focusing on basic needs, we need to recognize that we need to create a dignified experience for our students. So I want to share just a little bit of statistics and close with this for you. We recently completed a basic needs survey on campus with over 5,000 students responding. 54% of those students shared with us that they're experiencing housing insecurity at least one time within the last year, and 18% have communicated that they're experiencing ongoing housing insecurity. So when we think about the issues, I think we recognize that this isn't acceptable. And so we're thankful to the mayor and his vision for bringing this together, to work together and finding solutions for our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent President Munoz. And now I would like to introduce our next speaker, Superintendent Dr. Jill Baker. Dr. Baker was unanimously selected by the Board of Education as Superintendent of the Long Beach Unified School District effective August 1, 2020. With 30 years of experience in LBUSD, Dr. Baker worked for 28 of those years as a successful teacher, principal, and central office administrator before her appointment as superintendent. Her leadership contributed to increased student achievement, the development of multiple district-wide initiatives and systems, and a culture of continuous improvement. Thank you.
Also a graduate of Cal State Long Beach, did my master's degree here, Go Beach, one of my 3 universities. So glad to be back on campus today. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our entire district and our school board, 2 of whom are in the audience today, Dr. Juan Benitez, Mr. Eric Miller, really pleased to stand with you and our mayor as we sign the housing promise. This housing promise, I just want to applaud you, Mr. Mayor. The housing promise is really an unwavering commitment to our families and our students and all who come in contact with our Long Beach community. As a superintendent of a school district that serves more than 65,000 students, from little ones all the way to 22-year-olds, I'm especially attuned to the detrimental effects housing insecurity has on our youth. Housing instability, as you know, exerts a profound and far-reaching impact on children, disrupting their sense of security and often resulting in emotional and psychological challenges. Students experiencing housing insecurity face increased risk of developmental delays and educational setbacks that we see in our schools. Without a stable place to call home, unhoused students are often forced to change schools frequently, impeding their ability to build lasting relationships with their classmates and the bond that they can have with their teachers that we know is so important. We estimate that in Long Beach Unified, we have about 5,000 students who experience housing insecurity, and I will want to say publicly that that is 5,000 too many, and I am so thankful for this opportunity that this will bring to our families. Our schools are a refuge for families without a place to call home. In fact, many of our students often refer to their school as their home. Within the school buildings, our students and many of their family members receive food, they have education and childcare. And we invest in our facilities so that when students and families come to our schools, they feel a sense of community, an inviting place, and a place that they can absolutely learn. We pay special attention to our students experiencing homelessness, ensuring that we have supplements and supports that are designed just for them that will help to elevate the needs of their family. This school year, we unveiled Vision 2035, Long Beach's new vision. I hope you'll take a look at it if you don't know about it. And like our educational vision, the Long Beach Housing Promise sets the stage for a collective and bold new vision by helping students in need access stable housing, a basic building block for success. Much has been said about the College Promise. I am so grateful for the opportunity both to be mentored and collaborators with Jane and Mike, and we are up to some good work reimagining what the College Promise holds for our students, and I know that this is just going to be part of our collective effort in the Housing Promise. So today's signing is an important step in a collaboration that helps ensure that the City of Long Beach will continue to flourish. And for proof of our bright future ahead, look no further than Long Beach Unified student Alex Ariano. Alex is a senior at Wilson High School and a housing advocate who epitomizes where there is a will, there is a way. He leads the Long Beach chapter of Abundant Housing LA, a grassroots nonprofit organization working to solve Southern California's housing crisis at 17 years old. Yes. Despite numerous obstacles and demands on his time, Alex shows up to school ready to learn and thrive and plans to attend someplace. Could be convinced Cal State Long Beach or Dr. Benitez UCLA is on his radar to study urban planning. We are all, but Long Beach Unified especially, rooting for you, Alex, and are so very proud of your resiliency, tenacity, and fortitude. You're going to hear more from Alex in a moment when he gets introduced. He embodies the aspirational graduate portrait that we envision for all of our LBUSD students. So you're about to come up and hear from him, and he is an amazing representative of our Long Beach. Okay, Alex, come on up. You're next. So good to have you. So proud of you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to start off by thanking Mitali and Dr. Baker. You know, from every conversation I've had, from every conversation I've had about Dr. Baker, there's one common theme, is that she cares about students, and I would have to agree. So let's give a round of applause to Dr. Baker. Yeah. I'm so excited to be here today. It's a really tremendous honor. My name's Alex Arellano. A year ago, I started Everybody's Long Beach. We're a grassroots organization fighting for local solutions to the housing crisis. So being amongst dozens of change makers is really inspiring. I want to thank Mayor Richardson for inviting me to talk today and his insistence on having the youth represented on housing, an issue that affects us most. The housing crisis is deeply personal to me. 5 years ago, my family moved to the United States in hope of a better future and better opportunities to work, to study, to thrive. My parents decided that Long Beach was the place to pursue this dream. I think they were right. In the past years, it's become difficult as rising rents push our neighbors out, people onto the streets, and businesses to close. My story is far from unique. There are millions of young people, immigrants, working class members who want to achieve the American dream, that of getting a high quality education, a good paying job, one day the possibility of owning a home. But it's getting more distant. Being direct with you all here, when I talk to my friends and family, we're worried. We don't know if we'll be able to continue living, studying, and working in Long Beach. I think that would be tragic. Which is why I'm happy to see this being addressed by the mayor head-on and by all the partners present today. For the first time, you're declaring a high priority to improve housing accessibility. Everybody's Long Beach has the same principle in mind that the Long Beach Housing Promise promotes, housing for all. We're a group of students, professionals, working class advocates, and educators, all united by one common crisis. We've hosted housing tours, ran public comment campaigns, held trainings, and became an active part of this city's political landscape. I am inspired to see so many people in power advocate for people like me. Knowing that you're listening gives me hope. Hope that keeps us going when Everybody's Long Beach members stay past 10 p.m. at City Hall to push for affordable housing projects.
Again, everyone, thank you all for being here today at Cal State Long Beach.